Well, folks, spring is definitely here. We're supposed to see a high of about 16 Celsius today here in Western Canada. So, a great day to push the car at work outside, man. I'm missing these days. It's coming. I did drop my engine off at the machine shop yesterday, my block and crank and head and all the parts. So the machining work is started. And I want to do a few more things in the engine bay while the engine's out. A guy really could go to town and clean it all up. I think I've talked about that before. But I'm not sure I want to do that. The car looks like it kind of came off the farm, and I'm kind of going to stick with that theme, I think, but I want reliability. And I'm not restoring this car. I haven't decided on... I guess I kind of decided a long time ago I'm not restoring it. I'm rebuilding it and reviving it. And I've been doing a lot of work to the wiring system, cleaning it up, fixing it. Done a lot of crimping and butt splicing, new wires too, a lot of new wires. You know, you don't have to do it all at once. You don't have to rush out and buy a pre-made wiring harness. There's a couple places available that make them, and you don't have to. You can. If you're restoring a car, or if you want to do it all at once, just get it done, go ahead. It's pretty pricey. It's pretty expensive. So what I've been doing is replacing wires as I need to. And when I started fixing on the car, I'm working on it, I was just fixing things so I could get the car running and make it reliable, and just, it was a working, it's always been a working project and still is, I guess. So there's a few wires here on the firewall in this area that I haven't gotten to yet, don't like the look of them. So it's pretty basic stuff for most people when you're making your own wires, but there's a lot of newbies here, beginners, rookies that are just wrenching at home. But you know what, I do want to say to my loyal viewers, there's a number of you that just keep commenting and watching all my videos. Man, I do appreciate that, but I gotta say, you're keeners and you listen, because I can say the littlest thing or the littlest slip up, and man, you guys pick up on it and you ask more questions, and I think that's awesome. So I'm gonna keep this simple and as correct as possible. I'm not a professional. I've been around the industry for a while, but there's guys doing a lot better work probably than me, or throwing a lot more money at their cars than I am. But I'm not going to steer you wrong, I don't think. I'm learning as I go too, but I'm taking the skills that I've picked up over the past 40 or so years of my life tinkering with this stuff, and I continue to learn too, so why not share it with everybody else? All right, we're headed down to the store. We're going to pick up some more battery wire, some heavier cable wire, and go for a cruise in my 53. While we're headed out, I got a little story I'll share with you. It's interesting, little tidbit in the world of vintage cars and YouTubes. You meet some neat people. It's one of my recent videos. A fellow sent me a message, and he said, "Hey, I noticed down in your workbench in a box, looks like you've got some spare hubcaps down there. Might you have something for a 1937 Plymouth?" Okay, so I had to think about that for a minute and go check my boxes. So I go down there and have a look, and the guy likes to have spare hubcaps, these old cars, they can fall off when you're driving and you don't know it. One tip that someone told me, I did do this, is I pulled the hubcaps off my car. I took a big heavy Jiffy marker and I wrote my name and my phone number on the inside of the hubcap. So if it does just go scooting down the ditch on the highway or wherever I'm driving, if somebody picks it up, they'll probably phone me, because they're gonna say, this is rare and unique. It's not like anything I've ever seen, so maybe we should phone this guy. So that's a tip. So anyways, I go out and I grab my box of hubcaps and I go through it. Sure enough, it turns out I have 5 hubcaps in a spare box. And they're not exactly the same ones that are on my car, but they are from a 37 Plymouth. So I'm thinking, I got 5, I'll keep 4 in case I lose one of the ones I have now, and then I got a set I can use, but sure, I'll let one go. I'll ship it off. I wonder where the guy's from, right? So I get a hold of him and send him back a message saying, yeah, I got a hubcap for you. Turns out he's in New Zealand, and he's searched all over New Zealand for a 1937 Plymouth hubcap, and he can't find one. And there's one in a box under my bench, and he saw in my YouTube video. So there you go, that's my funny story of the day. Interesting. You meet all kinds of people. It's fun. It's a cool experience. It's fun. I like helping a guy out. So I'm on my way to the post office today with this box to ship to New Zealand. All right, we got new wire and we're heading back home. It's a beautiful day. You know, we've only had about 5 or 6 people approach us today to talk about the car and say how much they love it. They love to show their admiration for it. I always keep a wheel chock behind the tire wherever I park, because this old semi-auto tranny, there's no park. Alright, so trace the wire all the way up out of the dash, take it to the ammeter. We got her. So this will be the old cloth covered wired. You can see where the danger lies. Exposed wires there. Looks pretty good. It was wrapped up in a cloth loom. That's not so bad. It was nice and protected in there. Then you get up inside the ammeter, near the ammeter, up inside the dash. You can see that was rubbing on, I believe it was the wire up to the oil gauge, I believe. Sorry, the tube, metal tube that goes up to the oil pressure gauge. It was rubbing on that. It's near the ammeter. You can see that was a fire waiting to happen. That grounded out eventually on the oil tube. That would have got interesting real fast. You know, for the sake of learning, when we get inside this wire, cloth covered wire, let's look at it. It's got a coating underneath there. It's crusty. Totally just crumbling apart in my hands. There's the copper strands. It's amazing. 80 some odd years later. Here you can see the corrosion. Oops, sorry. See if I can show you that. There's like a green dust in this area. Oh, that's better. See the corrosion in there? This is why we replace bad wires in old cars. This replicates a battery cable as well. It's going to look very similar. There's the majority of corrosion in that area. This area, this slows down amp flow. So you get dim lights, you know, headlight circuits, wires that heat up. So this particular little, it's going to get you a 90 degree. That's going to hook up to the voltage regulator there. All I did is I just heated it up with a propane torch here, and it was soldered on. It slid right off. So that's totally salvageable. When I strip the new one, I'll slide over top and I'll solder it again and keep that. They probably can be found somewhere, but you can salvage this stuff. All right, so here, all I did is I just trimmed the end of the wire there. There's my 90 fitting. I just grabbed a little roll pin set and I punched that open, resized it, got it around my wire core, and just crimped it with some pliers, and feels really good. So all I'm going to do now is I'm just going to pour some solder into that, and then we should be good on that end. There's solder coming out the bottom now on the back side, so we're good. Let that cool down. I'll put some heat shrink on there, and we've got a good solid connection there, ready for another 80 years of use. I think I'm good with that. It should work. Able to salvage the end, and I'll reinstall it now. All right, so I carried on and kept making some more cables. I didn't really go into detail on how to make cable. It's not that difficult. I just wanted to show you kind of the dangers of having old 80-year-old cables and battery cables and wires in your car. Some people are going to say and argue the point that, yeah, just order an entirely new wiring harness. And like I said, you can do that if you want. I get it. I like the challenge. I like making my own stuff. I got all the tools here. Every time I make something myself, my skills get better and I learn more. So I used 8-gauge wire, just bought it locally, 8-gauge wire, and I reused a couple of the ends, like the 90s on the that I found here on the side of my regulator. I was able to reuse those. I bought new 8-gauge connections for the other end. Crimp them on, put some solder in there too. You get a nice solid connection. The solder helps the conductance of electrons through there really efficiently. And I'm going to keep at it, keep plowing away. So get that wiring done. Be safe. Take care of your car. And until you get your wiring done, maybe really limit your driving, or at least carry a decent fire extinguisher in the back. I had a 20-pounder in the back seat as I picked away at my wiring. I'm still not done. I've pulled a lot of wiring out of this car. I mean, there's not a ton. It's just 1938. It's not like it's got all the electrical stuff of the 60s and 70s. I can't imagine rewiring a 70s car with air conditioning. Holy man. Anyways, keep at it. Keep safe. If you like what you see, please subscribe. Comment if you like. Thanks for coming around. Appreciate it. We'll see you on the next one. Have a good one.